Dear America, welcome back to our fifth episode. Sorry we are releasing a little behind schedule here, but the holidays, Thanksgiving.
And also due to the fact that I have been sick all week.
Yeah, he had a really bad cold or flu.
Food poisoning, maybe? I don't know. Probably a mixture of both.
And there's other news. I am now 23.
Lame.
You're still 22, so I don't want to hear it.
I'll be 23 in 2 weeks.
Woo! You can go to the bar. Since we didn't go to the bar for my birthday.
Yeah. It kind of sucks when our birthdays are like in the middle of the week. So you have to go out like the night before. Because if not, you'll be hungover the next day at work.
I know. Alright, guys. So I told you guys on the Facebook page, if you had looked at it, that we got a big episode for you. Depending on how the episode goes, we'll decide if we're going to do a 3-2 or just stay as one episode. And for another news, we have decided that we're going to release the next few episodes on a Thursday instead of Tuesday. So today, guys, we are talking about the one and only Skinwalker Ranch that is up in Utah.
Skinwalker? I feel like someone's just cutting off people's skins and wearing them and walking around, That's the image I get. Or just maybe it's a person's just their skin, like they rip their skin off and then the skin's just walking around on its own.
You see, when I first heard about this, I was like 12.
12?
I was 12 years old when I heard about Skinwalker Ranch.
The heck kind of bedtime story is your dad telling you?
It wasn't a bedtime story. I was reading through like a book or whatever. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, when I first heard about it, I thought it maybe like some guy was like taking animals and just taking their skin off.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
That's what I thought it was at first.
Just taking their skins off.
And just like putting it over their head, just walking around with it on.
Oh my. That's what the Native Americans would do. Skin, a wolf, put like the head over their head like a hoodie.
Yeah. And that's why I thought about that, because I was like, oh, Native Americans, they just put like, wolf's pelts over their head or...
Yeah.
But then I found out what it actually meant.
And what did it actually mean?
And Skinwalker actually means they are like a shaman in the Navajo Indian tribe that will kill like a rabbit or something like that.
Kill a rabbit.
And then they can transform into such creature.
So it's a shapeshifter.
Yes, it's a shapeshifter.
Possibly from the future?
I don't think so.
Coming back to control the government.
No. So, Skinwalker Ranch. Just a little bit of a history on the actual ranch itself. Skinwalker Ranch has also been known as Sherman Ranch. It is a property located on approximately 480 acres. That is 1.9 kilometers. Squared kilometers.
Squared kilometers.
Southeast of Ballard, Utah. That is allegedly the site of paranormal and UFO related activities. Its name is taken from the Skinwalker of Native American legend. Claims about the ranch first appeared in the Salt Lake City, Utah Deseret News, and later is the
Deseret News.
Desert?
I feel like that's a typo.
Desert News? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Desert
News?
The Desert News, because Utah's a desert?
Well, you know what?
That's a deseret.
Too bad. That's what it's going to be called from now on. It's Desert. And later in the alternative weekly Las Vegas Mercury as a series of articles by journalist George Knapp. These early stories detailed the claims that a family that had recently purchased and occupied the property only to experience an array of inexplicable and frightening events. Colm Keller and co-author George Knapp subsequently authored a book in which they described the ranch being acquired by the National Institute for Discovery Science, which is NIDSI. And guess who owns that?
Some guy I've never heard of, I'm assuming.
Robert Bigelow.
And who the hell is Robert Bigelow?
We have not talked about him yet, but
obviously
he currently owns the ranch right now.
The
ranch located in West Uintah County, bordering the UT Indian Reservation, was popularly dubbed the UFO Ranch due to its ostensible 50-year 50-year history of odd events said to have taken place there.
Who wrote this article and is using these words?
Knapp and Keller cite the 1974 book, The Utah UFO Display, a scientist's report by Frank Salisbury.
Salisbury steak.
And Joseph Jr. Hicks.
That's you.
Which details an earlier investigation into alleged UFO sightings in the Uintah County region as partial confirmation of their account. According to Keller and Knapp, they saw or investigated evidence of close to 100 incidents that included vanishing and mutilated cattle, sightings of unidentified flying objects or orbs, large animals with piercing red eyes that they say were not injured when struck by bullets, and invisible objects emitting destructive magnetic fields. Among those involved were retired Army Colonel John B. Alexander, who characterized the NIDSI effort as an attempt to get hard data using a standard scientific approach. However, the investigators admitted to difficulty obtaining evidence consistent with scientific publication. Cattle mutilations have been part of the folklore of the surrounding area for decades. But NIDSI founder Robert Bigelow, purchase of the ranch and investigating funding was reportedly the result of his being convinced by stories of mutilations that included tales of strange lights and unusual impressions made in grass and soil told by the family of former ranch owner Terry Sherman.
Oh my gosh, so it sounds like there's a lot of stuff going on with this ranch.
Yes.
Over the years. So it sounds like this ranch is pretty lit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty lit.
It is. It does sound like it.
Sounds like a good old time. Good old mix of things. Everything we've done up to this point has been like one specific thing, like one creature or one ghost or whatever. This is like multiple things that could possibly be all the same thing if it's like a shapeshifter kind of thing. It can change into whatever it wants.
Yeah. But to me right now, it sounds like might be more than just one, though.
It could be more than one. But, I mean, there's also talk of, magnetic fields and strange, possible portals and stuff. So you never know what this thing... If it's moving through portals, you never know what this thing is,
Right, this thing could be...
It could be traveling through time.
And space. And
traveling through different universes.
It could be like a third-dimensional being.
We are third-dimensional beings.
Fourth-dimensional beings? Are you sure we're not two-dimensional?
No. Are we flat?
Yes, we are.
I don't think so.
It could be like a fourth-dimensional being, Cody.
It could be a fourth-dimensional being, for all we know. Okay. So going back to this, one of the things that I mentioned a little bit ago about, one of the previous owners of the property seeing some sort of wolf thing that could not be hurt. We're going to talk about that a little bit here.
All right. So, like Cody said, the previous owner, which I actually had said his name is Terry Sherman, but he also has a wife and a few kids, I guess. So when the Shermans had moved in, the Shermans had spotted an extremely large wolf out in the pasture. This was strange because there really aren't wolves in that region. It cautiously made its way across the field and timidly approached them as if it were a long-lost pet. It had rained previously, and they recalled the wolf smelled like a wet dog as they were petting it. In time, it strolled over to the corral and grabbed a calf by its snout, attempting to pull it through the corral bars. Terry Sherman and his son began beating on the wolf's back with sticks, but it wouldn't release the calf. Terry grabbed his .357 Magnum from the truck. He is both an experienced marksman and a big game hunter of considerable respect, and shot the wolf at point-blank range, with no noticeable effect. He fired again into the wolf, which then let go of the calf, but stood looking at them as if nothing had happened. He shot it 2 more times with the pistol. The big animal backed off a bit, but showed no sign of pain, injury, or blood. Awed by this, Mr. Sherman retrieved a hunting rifle and shot the wolf again. Once more at close range, the wolf should have been killed. With 5 slugs, a moose would be killed. The 5th shot caused some hair and flesh to drop off the wolf, but it still didn't seem wounded. After the sixth shot, the wolf sauntered across the field into a muddy thicket. Sherman and his dad tracked it for about a mile, following its paw prints through the mud, but the track suddenly ended, as if the wolf had simply vanished into thin air. Returning to the corral area, he examined the chunk of wolf flesh and says it looked and smelled like rotten meat. Terry made inquiries among his neighbors, but no one seemed to know anything about any tame, oversized wolves in the area. A week later, his wife encountered a wolf of such size. Its back was parallel with the top of her window as it stood beside her car. The wolf was accompanied by a canine-type animal that she couldn't identify.
Well, if I shot a wolf that many times and it did not go down, I'd be backing the heck up out of there.
Oh, I know.
And leaving immediately. I wouldn't follow it into the dark woods.
Right. Shit. But my thing is, what is the second canine-type animal they're talking about?
I don't know. Could be a dog, I guess.
Could be a dog. I mean, I've heard of dogmen being up in over there, I guess.
Dogmen?
Yeah, dogmen. They stand like 2 legs. I've heard of it. I'm not saying it's true or not.
A lot of them.
I'm just
doing some drugs.
that's what she was probably doing some drugs then.
Probably.
They're probably all doing drugs.
I mean, if there's one interdimensional being or shapeshifter or whatever this thing is, it's possible that there could be multiple. And, that could be its companion, or maybe that could be its baby. Maybe it could be a younger one.
Or they're pack hunters. Maybe the first time they met it, he was just, examining the area, seeing how they reacted.
They shot me.
But I didn't die.
I tried to bring them food, and they shot me.
Yeah, tried to bring food. They didn't wear appreciative. Let's attack them. So, this kind of goes with maybe a dimensional being, because they say that it follows the footprints and then it just stops.
Yeah, like the footsteps just completely vanish. Yeah. There's no sign of them going up a tree or going into a hole or anything. It's just there's footsteps on the ground and they're gone.
Yeah, so it's like maybe that kind of goes alongside maybe it's a dimensional being because you just travel through like a portal or whatever.
Yeah, or it could have turned into a bird.
Or a bird, if it's a skinwalker. So, over the next 2 years, an assortment of weird animals was reported by the Shermans and neighbors. This time we got the neighbors going. While driving to the ranch on a bright afternoon, Sherman and his wife saw something attacking one of their horses. It was described as low to the ground, heavily muscled, weighing perhaps 200 pounds, with curly red hair and a bushy tail. It somewhat resembled a muscular hyena, and seemed to be clawing at their horse, almost playing with it. Terry got within 40 feet of the animal, but says it literally vanished before his eyes. They checked the horse and found numerous claw marks on its legs. Some months later, the wife of a deputy sheriff reported seeing a similar muscular reddish beast running across the property.
Wow.
Well, do they have hyenas up in Utah?
I don't think they do. They're only over in Africa. Okay, so now we see a similar creature vanish, just like the other one.
Just vanished.
And this guy saw it vanish right before, right in front of him. So that kind of goes with, the claims of the other people.
Well, the thing is, that, when he says vanish right before his eyes, does he mean like this could be interpreted in many ways? Yeah. It could be he just vanished, like he was there and then just poof, or he just ran really fast. Because if he's
ran really fast.
If he's just like a very muscular animal, you bet he's gonna be gone just like that. Another visitor to the ranch had a more ominous encounter in the middle homestead. The visitor, along with Sherman and his son, say they saw a large, blurry something moving through the trees.
A large, blurry something? That's descriptive.
The visitor has been meditating when this thing showed up. It swiftly moved from the trees across the pasture, covering 100 yards in seconds. And when it reached him, it let out a furious roar, something akin to a large bear. A roar loud enough to be heard hundreds of yards away. But this was no bear. It was, according to the locals, nearly invisible, resembling the camouflaged entity in the movie Predator.
Oh,
the visitor was so scared he grabbed onto Terry and wouldn't let go. He left the ranch and has never returned.
Great, now we got the predator out in the forest.
Jesus. So much going on.
Watch out for those 3 little laser dots that get you.
I just love how they say blurry something. It's just blurry.
It's something, right? Apparently it's nearly invisible, whatever it is. So this is probably like halfway on the plane of vision,
right?
Plane of reality.
So what they're telling us is the predator lives in Utah, or he's hunting in Utah.
He's probably hunting the wolf in Utah.
What if the wolf's not actual wolf?
Predator's out there hunting the wolf.
What if the wolf is like the alien from the movie Predator vs. Alien?
Oh gosh, maybe it is.
Oh, that's a scary thought.
I'm not going to Utah, that's for sure. Creepy stuff going on over there.
Okay, so this is a little not as scary, but it's a little interesting. Other creatures and beings were also seen, including exotic multicolored birds that were certainly not native to the region and could not be identified. There were numerous close encounters with dark 9-foot-tall beasts that resembled a Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Right, now we got the Yowie over there, too.
I know!
It's everywhere.
It doesn't just exist in Australia anymore.
Maybe this thing's traveling from place to place and picking things, and like adding these skins to its abilities, you know what I mean? Like you're a character in a game,
Oh yeah.
And you go out and like you scan things, and then you get like a transformer would go out and scan it, and then it would be that thing. Maybe it's doing that. It's traveling from place to place, and it's scanning these things or whatever, and it's becoming so it could be able to become whatever it wants.
But why multicolored birds? And exotic multicolored birds.
I don't know. Maybe you want to stand out sometime. Maybe it doesn't know exactly what it's supposed to be in the situation, Maybe it's just switching from these random things.
It's like, do I need to be this? This? I'll be this one this time. Why not?
I don't know. It's very weird.
A lot of stuff's going on right now.
It's a very weird concept.
Okay. As if these visual experiences weren't enough, the family claims its other senses were also challenged by assorted bizarre events. They often were overwhelmed by strong musk odors. The pastures would unexplainably light up at night like a football stadium. They claimed to have seen shafts of light that seemingly emanated from the ground. Many locals say they heard what sounded like heavy machinery operating under the earth, and they heard voices.
See, there's stuff going on there. There is stuff going on there. Government tests.
I think Bigelow's involved in this
government underground facility in Utah.
I think Bigelow.
And these creatures are the government's test subjects. They're getting out.
I think it's Bigelow.
You're Bigelow.
I think it's Bigelow. I think Bigelow has something to do with this. I really do. Terry, his son, and his nephew remember hearing a loud, disembodied conversation in some unintelligible language. The disembodied male voice spoke, and what the witnesses say was a mocking tone and sounded like they were emanating from 20 feet or more above their heads. But they saw nothing. The dogs accompanying the men growled and barked at the voices, then took off in a panic. Well, obviously the dog saw something.
This is a classic Stranger Things situation going on right here, right? Some underground facility. It's got this portal down there, and they don't know how to close it.
I know.
Things are getting out.
There were physical manifestations that aren't easily explained. While checking on his herd in the third homestead, Terry noticed that someone had dug up his pasture. Hundreds of pounds of soil had been scooped out of the ground. The edges of the hole resembled perfect concentric circles, as if someone had dropped a gigantic cookie cutter on the pasture. Several smaller scoop marks were also found. Family members also report phenomena similar to crop circles. One formation found in their pasture consisted of 3 circles of flattened grass. Each circle was approximately 8 inches in diameter, and they were arranged in a triangular pattern, with each circle about 30 feet from the others. Keep in mind, there is only one road leading to the Sherman Ranch. Anyone coming in or going out would almost certainly be noticed by the family or their neighbors.
Unless they didn't come by the road. Unless they came from the sky.
Yeah, if they came from the sky, then they won't have to come from the road.
Exactly. How else would we be scooping
or
these things out of there?
ground. All right, guys. Now, I know we kind of ended that in a little cliffhanger episode there. You kind of are wondering what's going on. I guess you'll have to wait till the next episode, because we're doing a two-parter.
Yes. If you thought this episode was interesting, you'll have to stay tuned and wait for next week for the next part. Part 2 of the Skinwalker Ranch episode. Episode number 5. At our new release date on Thursdays instead of Tuesdays.
Farewell until next week. Thank you for following us into the darkness.
Stay moist, everyone.